I am California of the past.
I am California of the past.
I am
California of the past.
My name is Marek Breiger. The piece I'm going to read relates to some specific events that I realize some young people maybe are not familiar with, and it came out of the events of 1992 in April, what was called the Rodney King riots in Los Angeles. Which a black motorist had been assaulted by a policeman who got a very light sentence, so actually got acquitted. And then there were riots in the city, including innocent people of other races who were beaten in retaliation. I was teaching English and journalism at Moreau High School in Hayward, and had kids of all ethnic groups. And I could see that the events were polarizing them, and I was very disappointed, because I come out of the 60s era in which I was hoping that we could see the commonalities that we all have with one another. And so this piece that I wrote comes out of actually later in '92, when I was at, well, you'll see, I was at the restaurant La Casa Latina getting my car fixed at Jim's VW, an old friend of mine in Hayward, and I was thinking about what unites us all as human beings rather than what disunites us. And here's the piece called Who We Are, published in the Daily Review and then in Where Coyotes and the Wind Blows Free. The Mexican music plays, the accordion and guitars and horns, and the plaintive male singer is joined by the soft voices of women on the chorus. Tortillas are being ground and pounded. I am on Mission Boulevard across from Moreau High School, where I've taught English for more than 10 years. I am in La Casa Latina, drinking coffee, reading, and writing. On the street, a family walks past, the mother wearing a shawl, followed by her 4 children. The oldest, a girl, pushes a baby carriage. The soulful dark eyes of Mexico define her face. Inside, in broken English, a man asks his wife, "Pineapple or Diet Pepsi?" He speaks in the accent so easy to parody, but that only fools mock, for he speaks the broken English that novelist Wright Morris once described as the language of the soul, broken words spoken to the heart. Construction workers come in for an early lunch of beer and tortillas, easily mixing Spanish and American slang. Everything is orderly, everyone is polite in the Latin tradition, and I am not treated as a stranger, and perhaps I am not, for I am viewing an American and a Mexican scene and more. I am viewing immigrant America, the America my Russian Jewish grandparents found on the west side of Chicago, the Lower East Side of New York, and in Boyle Heights in Los Angeles. It is the America of old country emotion and new country language and hope. A dark sign, a tape sign, dark ink on white paper, states veladores, candles, 12 by 15, and I think of the yard site, the memorial candle we light for my sister Miriam, for Mimi, every January 26th. What a price we pay when we give up the emotional language of the immigrants, our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. Across the street at the high school for more than 10 years, I've tried to teach the work of authors such as Hemingway and Steinbeck, Elie Wiesel and Lorraine Hansberry, Chief Seattle, and Martin Luther King, Jr., who protested against our collective loss of memory and sense of justice. For we Americans are a nation of immigrants and minority groups. We are not merely whites, but Italian and Armenian and Irish and Spanish and German and Portuguese and Greek and Polish and all of the rest. And we are not simply people of color, but West African, Ashanti, and Filipino, and Japanese, and Chinese, and Indian, and Korean, and Pakistani, and Cambodian, and Ohlone Indian, and all of the rest. We have yet to learn a simple lesson. Putting down or prejudging anyone because of race or religion is not an act of celebration or pride or an effective act of retribution. It is an act that works to divide and so makes real progress impossible. The accordion plays, the words are sung, the man behind the counter joins in and seems to remember a different time. And outside it is still morning, and there is no school today, and cars move past a scene of Hayward, of Northern California, and of the world. This next short poem relates to the many hours I spent when I was younger and in better shape playing basketball at Bret Harte Junior High and also watching games in the field. I used to play flag football when I was young, and this is dedicated to my two nephews, Joshua and Marek Breiger, and as a remembrance in the 90s of Hayward when there were still flag football rather than only soccer. Bret Harte Field, smell of fried chicken, summer nights, softball, fast pitch, slow pitch, men's games, women's games, families, children, treehouse-like announcer's booth, cool bay smells, train calls late at night, and in October there will be flag football games here, and chalked yard lines, and the feeling I remember from my own California childhood of connection with older men watching and giving advice, younger men playing, and children, boys and girls, wide-eyed and excited at the sudden eloquence of a pass caught, a broken field run made, laughter found in the midst of the dark night. Okay, thank you very much.